Hello, this is Mark Pearson with another video for the Honor and Knowledge channel. Today we're going to be discussing the top 10 campaign promises that then candidate Donald Trump made in 2016. One of these, interestingly, came up during the vice presidential debate. In addition, we're going to go over one of the not top 10 campaign promises dealing with Oreo cookies. On July 15, 2016, PolitiFact published an article written by Linda Q, spelled Q-I-U, highlighting the top 10 Donald Trump campaign promises. We're going to use those as the list. Campaign promise number 1, build the wall and get Mexico to pay for it. As of the end of September, there have been 340 miles of wall built along our southern border. By the end of 2020, 450 miles are expected to be completed. Therefore, we have to give credit to President Trump for building the wall. Yes, it's not completed, but he's done a lot. As far as Mexico paying for it, two things. One, from the American perspective, no, they haven't. From the Mexican perspective, they think they have been spending a lot of money in support of President Trump's wall. Specifically, thousands of Mexican National Guard troops are being used to prevent illegal immigration coming into our country. So you have to give some credit to President Trump for this one. So I give him a grade of 75%. Campaign promise number 2, temporarily ban Muslims from entering our country. Candidate Trump first made that promise after the December 15, 2015 San Bernardino shooting. During the course of his campaign, candidate Trump tweaked that promise to indicate that his primary interest was ensuring that people that came into our country could be properly vetted. After he became president, President Trump acted rapidly. Many court challenges occurred, but the bottom line was President Trump did get a temporary ban on people coming into our country from countries that could not provide proper vetting at the time. As of today, there are 13 countries that still have a temporary ban on them. 10 of them are predominantly Muslim. The 3 that are not are North Korea, Venezuela, and Myanmar. Therefore, President Trump gets 100%. Campaign promise number 3, bring manufacturing jobs back to the United States. This one was brought up during the vice presidential debate. Senator Harris stated that Donald Trump had lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Vice President Pence stated we had gained 500,000 jobs. I just completed my research on this one for this video, and yes, Vice President Pence is correct. Under President Trump, as of the end of 2019, 500,000 manufacturing jobs have been brought back. I did not include 2020 because of all the issues going on with coronavirus. President Trump gets 100% on this one. Campaign promise number 4, impose tariffs on goods brought in from China and Mexico. He indeed has put tariffs on China. Mexico, I wasn't quite sure about, but my research indicated that yes, indeed, there were some tariffs placed on Mexican goods. President Trump gets 100%. Campaign promise number 5, renegotiate or withdraw from the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Very rapidly, the new President Trump withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. After a few years of hard work by his administration and himself, the North American Free Trade Agreement has been replaced by the United States, Mexico, and Canada Trade Agreement. Has been ratified by all 3 countries. President Trump gets 100% on this campaign promise. Campaign promise number 6, full repeal of Obamacare and replace it with a market-based alternative. Obamacare has not been repealed. Came close, but 3 Republican senators voted against repealing it, and therefore a market-based alternative has not replaced it. President Trump and his administration have carried out many actions, however, to reduce some of the more onerous aspects of Obamacare. For example, the tax or the penalty, depending on your perspective, on what you'd have to pay to the government if you didn't have insurance, has been removed. In this one, he gets 25% carrying out actions to reduce the effect of Obamacare, partial repealing, therefore, of some of it, but that's all. 25% to President Trump for this one. Campaign promise number 7, renegotiate the Iran deal. Now, if President Trump had said renegotiate or withdraw, like he did the other ones, he would get 100% on this one. So he pulled out of the deal, reimposed sanctions on Iran, and because of the sanctions, a lot of the other participants to the Iran deal have ceased doing business for the most part with Iran because of fear of the sanctions that we've put on Iran. Therefore, President Trump gets most credit, 75%, but not all credit. because the renegotiation has not been accomplished. Campaign promise number 8, leave Social Security as is. President Trump has done that. President Trump and his administration have not reduced or changed the benefits in Social Security. Therefore, President Trump gets 100%. Campaign promise number 9, cut taxes. President Trump's administration implemented the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which cut taxes. You may disagree with this one. If you live in a high-tax state and locality, have high real estate taxes, and you can't deduct them as much anymore, you may indeed have an increase in your taxes. But for the general overall population, it was a tax cut. So President Trump gets 100%. Campaign promise number 10, bomb and/or take the oil from ISIS. The caliphate is gone, and the oil is no longer supplying money to terrorists. President Trump gets 100% for this one. Now regarding Oreo cookies, which I like. Candidate Trump was reacting to information that the manufacturer of Oreo cookies in the United States, used to be Nabisco, they changed their name to Mondelez, have been moving manufacturing facilities outside of the country, primarily to Mexico in our case. Oreo cookies are made in many countries. He stated in a campaign promise that he would get the manufacturer of Oreo cookies to build the facilities back in the United States. To check this one out, I first went to my local grocery store and checked all the bags of Oreo cookies, and I found one that was made in Canada, several that were made in Mexico, and 2 that were not labeled as far as their location. So in my view, I had 0% for Donald Trump on this one. So I did some more research, and sure enough, there are 3 locations in our country where Oreo cookies are still manufactured. But no, I think President Trump needs to do a lot better on the Oreo cookie campaign promise. So after doing the review of the top 10 campaign promises, what grade does President Trump get? 87.5%, high B. And as a former elected politician, small one, in a local community, I'll tell you that I think that's pretty good for coming through with what you promised during your campaign. In addition, I believe that during another 4 years, the Iranians would come to the table and renegotiate their deal. And I believe that President Trump can get completion on the repeal of Obamacare and providing a market-based alternative for the American people for medical insurance. I don't think he's ever going to get Mexico to pay for the border wall directly, but I think Mexico has done a lot already to help us out and themselves at the same time. So 97.5% is what he could get in his next 4 years, but for right now, he gets an 87.5%. But remember, I'd like to be able to easily buy Oreo cookies that are made in the United States.